Hello, Nomads, and welcome to episode 4, and we tease what we're going to be talking about. But before I begin, my name is Brandon, and I'm here with Eric and Dave. If you guys want to say hello.
Guys, let's go beyond in this episode.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah.
Dave, you're supposed to say plus ultra.
Plus ultra? Oh, yeah, I must have missed that one.
Oh, I don't know any of the taglines other than, like, well, a couple of things I'm going to bring up. But yeah, so we teased this last episode that we were going to watch My Hero Academia, just season 1. And you were right, Eric. It is only 20 minutes an episode. And there's only 13 episodes. So I think we can get into it. But yeah, Eric, you picked the topic. I was cool with kind of letting you just kind of run with this one. So yeah, what do you want to talk about?
I was going to say, before we get into the actual topic of the show, let's just do a quick update on what we've been playing lately. I guess you can go first, Brandon, since
two games, really. I've played a lot of Assassin's Creed, getting in there, getting in my ship, and just, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So I've played this game a couple times, and it's so long. But I'm like, you know what? The level gating, yes, it does suck. But I want to explore all of these islands. So all I'm doing is unlocking all the fast travel. And then that way when I do the story, I can hopefully, boom, 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 just zip around the map and go to the places, do the quest, and kind of do it that way. So I spent a lot of time playing that. And on Game Pass, they added Man-Eater. So I tried that out. I think I'm level 4. So I'm still like a pup shark. I don't want to give anything away. I think it's kind of... I don't know. I wasn't impressed. It's silly. It's stupid. Plays okay.
Okay, well, all I know about that game is eventually you upgrade enough where you can attach like fucking lasers and shit to your head.
Right.
And that makes me want to play it.
It's slow in the beginning. I don't know. Well, whatever. I guess I'll try it at least one time so I can get to the meat. But that's what I've been playing.
I mean, it's a game about a shark. Like, you can't get too in depth there. Like, talk about the shark's feelings when he eats people, or that kind of stuff. Like, are you just swimming around the ocean right now, or are you actually eating people? Are you going up on shore and snagging surfboarders?
You haven't played it yet, Dave?
No, I haven't touched it yet.
Okay. All right. Yeah. What would I compare it to? It's like cartoony, vulgar.
There's that Hungry Shark World game. Have you played that before? It used to be a phone game, and then it got upgraded to Xbox, and it's more arcadey, I would say. You're just swimming around eating people to keep your energy up, really.
Is it third person? Is it third person?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is third person.
Yep.
First person shark game would be kind of nasty. Man-Eater's not first person, is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
If it has,
it's like third person behind the back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. It is what it is. It seems like a B-level studio made it, but whatever. I'm sure there'll be a sequel. I don't know if I would recommend it though. Like, I don't think it's like you gotta play this game. It's
a perfect Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what Game Pass is for.
They got their money, and you get to try out something that you would have tried before. So, win-win.
100%. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, I've been playing some. They added Wild at Heart to Game Pass recently, and I've been playing that with one of the kids. And
Wild at Heart.
It's like it looks like almost like a hand animated thing, and it's got a little bit of Pikmin to it. It's got a little bit of Luigi's Mansion to it, where you kind of have like a vacuum and you're sucking up things.
Oh, okay.
Sucking up things in the environment, and then you got these little wood creature things that follow you, and you chuck them at things like Pikmin, and they do little woodland creature things for you. But that's one thing that bugs me about those little games, though, is when you're playing with a kid, you gotta read so much. And the reading gets to you. If I'm playing it by myself, that's fantastic, but after a little while, I'm sick of reading everything that everybody says and everything that comes up on the screen. Kind of like Zelda. Same thing, where you get a little like voice acting would help a lot in that, something like that. But that's a cool one. And No Man's Sky put out an expansion, or an expedition, whatever you want to call it. And they added the Normandy from Mass Effect to No Man's Sky, where you can have it as one of your freighters. And took a little bit of Googling and YouTubing to figure out how the fuck to even get to it. But once I figured out how to start an expedition, it's kind of cool because the one thing about No Man's Sky is you never want to start over because you lose all your shit. So you do these expeditions, they kind of start you from the beginning. They give you a ship, they give you guns, they give you a freighter, you're set up on a nice little planet from Hello Games. Everything's named, rocks and normal things. But they give you a ship and you just got to, follow the path, and they give you clear goals to do, which I think I got lost. I think I went through a portal and went to the wrong side of the galaxy, so we'll see if I get to the Normandy, but I'm pretty close. But once I figured out how it was going on now, and the No Man's Sky just keeps getting better and better. So.
Oh, you haven't actually gotten it yet? How long is that? How long have you been trying to get it?
I probably put in like
how many hours do you think it takes?
3 or 4 hours, and I'm probably pretty close if I didn't get lost. But
really?
I was doing the thing where I was just warping from one system to the next and not even landing on planets, just jumping, trying to get to it, and I was doing that for a while, and I don't think that's what I was supposed to be doing, or that's kind of why I think I'm lost. So I might try and jump back to one of the previous space stations and see if I can pick up the trail. But I think we got till the end of the month to get that one done. But that one's been pretty cool. That game is you can get sucked. It's very intimidating with the size of it because there's just literally so much shit you can do. So those are my two.
Yeah, I booted it up over the weekend because I don't know, I probably played about 15-20 hours into it on PS5, and I booted it up, and there's just like I have so many like different active missions. I'm like, and it was really overwhelming. I'm like, I don't know what I should do first. I can go find the scientist for my research station, or I can continue on this mission to find, this Atlas dude, or, just fuck around on a different planet. It's like, you can do so much in that game. Sometimes it's really cool how much they've added, but sometimes it can be overwhelming, just like seeing all the different things in your quest log. And I'm like, jeez. So I booted it up with the intention of trying to figure out the Normandy stuff, but then I just instantly shut it off.
Or even if you see like people's bases on Reddit and Twitter, and like some people literally only fucking do that in the games, and like you see that shit, and I'm like, I want that cool stuff. It's kind of like you see people doing that stuff in GTA Online, like they got all this cool stuff, and I'm like, oh, you got to grind for weeks and months to get that kind of stuff. Well, we'll see, but great game. Everybody should play.
Is that all you've been playing?
That's it.
For me, you're saying?
Well, Dave, you're the one that was playing No Man's Sky.
Oh, Dave, yeah.
That's about it. I haven't really gotten back. I did a little bit of Final Fantasy VII, but
right.
One thing about that old game is they don't put quest markers on there for you. So I was wandering around for a little bit, and
yeah.
So I got a little disheartened, but I'll probably hopefully jump back into that one and at least, like you said, get out of Midgard.
If you can get to it, yeah, it's a wild ride. What about you, Eric? What have you been playing?
So I've been talking about it on the podcast for the last couple of weeks, but this is Eric's Mario Galaxy update. I finally got the 120 stars.
Ooh.
So yeah, that was great.
Was it a big grind or no?
No, actually. Well, there's like a few minor things at the end that kind of annoyed me. So basically you get I forget what it is, like up to 10 stars or something. And then before you can get the rest of them, it forces you to go to the final boss, which is Bowser. And then you beat him.
Bowser's the final boss?
No.
Right? No fucking way, right? So it forces you to go beat him, and then you get credits, and then you go back to your like hub world thing, and you unlock like so the rest of the stars after that are like you have to go to each of these galaxies and collect purple coins.
Yeah.
So you're just you're collecting 100 purple coins on a bunch of different galaxies, and that gives you the remaining stars. But it's really weird because like you rescue, like the whole thing is obviously with every fucking Mario game, you rescue Peach at the end from Bowser. But then once you get back to that world, it like resets you. So it's like Peach is still kidnapped, and it's just really weird how they do it. So you collect all the other stars, you get up to 120, and then it forces you to beat Bowser again. Like you go and do the last like final boss fight again.
Same exact thing.
I'm like, whatever.
Same, nothing changes in the fight.
Same exact.
Okay.
Nope, same exact thing.
Yeah, that's
it. Because it like forces you to do it. They like tease it like, oh, there's another world, but first you have to go rescue your fucking loved one or whatever, your special one, they call her. So you go do that fucking fight again, and then what annoyed the hell out of me is the cutscenes and the credits at the end are both unskippable. Ooh. So the first time I beat it, I had to sit through that shit. And the second time I beat it, I had to sit through that shit again. That was like 10 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? Why can't I just skip this? And then, so you have to do that final boss fight again to unlock the ability to play as Luigi. That's like the big reward at the end. But I mean, I don't know. I got 120 stars as Mario, and then I'm not going to play the entire game as Luigi again. It's the same game, just Luigi has slightly different mechanics. Like he jumps a little bit different.
The floaty jump, yeah.
A little bit higher. Yeah, the floaty jump. He runs a little bit faster. He's a little bit more slippery, but it's the same. You know, you can get 120 stars with Luigi if you really want to play through the whole game again. But I'm not going to do that.
That's how come they get away with that? Because what if you are a big Luigi fan? He's like your favorite character. You have to do all that just to unlock him? That's what you're saying?
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Because Star Wars comes out by DICE, right? And they're like, well, it's a big deal if you have like Kylo Ren or Han Solo. It's hard. So if you have them, it's because somebody worked really hard to get that character, and they got people like, I want to play that character instantly. Which, yes, I agree. Why? That's what we like about Star Wars is the characters. So don't keep them away from us. That's why we want to pretend for a little bit and be in that world. Same thing with Luigi. How come they get to be like, yeah, you want to play him? You got to spend all these hours just to play the other guy. I'm like, what? Come on, Nintendo.
And it's the same game. Like they don't.
I love Mario Brothers 2 because you got 4 characters to pick from out of nowhere. The sequel. How about 4 characters? They're all different. Oh yeah, sweet.
Yeah, so the game was fucking great up until the end. That kind of annoyed me, but that was just a minor thing out of like this whole great experience. So whatever. I'm not too mad about that. I'm super glad that I played it. And
is that all you played then, or did you play anything else?
I got a couple other things.
Okay.
I downloaded The Last of Us Part 2 again to check out the PS5 update. They added 4K and 60 FPS to that game. And fuck, that game is insanely beautiful.
Yeah.
Like that game on PS5 looks incredible.
Right.
And dude, like that's definitely the most like realistically violent game that I've ever played. And just like the fidelity makes it that much worse. Like you shoot someone in the face, the fucking face is all fucked up and they're bleeding. Shoot someone in the arm, you can blow their limbs off and shit. Like,
good lord, okay.
It's insane. Yeah, that game is super violent, but it looks insane, like amazing. I just played a couple encounters just to see how it felt, and it feels really good. It looks amazing.
Okay, so it's a good update, like a good enhancement. Definitely worth going back to. Yeah.
I'm not ready to play through that entire game again because I just played through it last year, and that's a tough one to get through, but maybe someday. But I just wanted to check it out, see what it looked like. So that was worth it. And then I jumped over, I re-downloaded and restarted the Ratchet and Clank, the one they re-released in like 2015, the remake of the first one. That also got a PS5 update. So that's now 60 FPS, 4K, all that good stuff. And yeah, I restarted this one and I'm playing through it again to prep for the new game coming out, the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart that comes out in a couple weeks here. So I'm super excited for that, and I'm replaying that one, and that game is so fun. Like, I've never really been into the Ratchet and Clank series, but like, you know, it's just a fucking third-person action shooter platformer type deal, and it's just really fun. It looks amazing. Even this is a game that was released in, I think, 2015, 2016. Even on PS4 it looked great, but on PS5 it looks even better, and the new one looks insane. So that's, yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. That's pretty much what I've been playing. So
nice.
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah. If you guys are
getting to the meat of things, huh?
Yeah. Let's talk.
Let's
talk anime. So, okay. So I don't know. I have a lot to talk about here.
Hold on. Let's just, before we actually get into it. All right. Well, let's just say, just reiterate. We watched season 1 of My Hero Academia. And we all watched the dub, I believe, right?
I think Dave said he watched.
I watched one in Japanese, just to get a feel for it, but everything else was dubbed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, yep, we watched it on Funimation. But
and you, Eric, you've watched it before.
I have watched it before.
Dave and I have not.
Yeah, yes. So there's now, actually, season 5 just came out like a month ago, I think, and I still have to watch that, but I've watched up to that point. So yeah, I'm into it. It's one of my favorite anime at this point. But before we actually get into that, the meat of that topic, I just want to start out with something simple. Let's just start with each of our history with anime as a medium. Because I know each of us have kind of a different level of familiarity with it, a different level of experience with it. And
no, that's cool.
So yeah, Brandon, why don't you start it off?
Me? Sure. I mean, it wasn't until college, I think, when I was familiar with it in high school because of the art style, and I really was into drawing. In the late 90s, my whole life, but I really got into, like, I guess, anime around then. Oh, I think it was Final Fantasy VII. I think it was Final Fantasy VII that got me into it. So I think I took that interest from that game, maybe just Japanese games in general. And it wasn't until college, though, when I got exposed to movies. And I watched Akira, which is fantastic. I'd love to go back and see these movies again, because I haven't really watched anime since. My college roommate, Ubad, he was in a media study student or something, multimedia or whatever, but he watched movies and had to critique him and stuff. So he was always watching movies, and he would get me into watching animes. But Ninja Scroll was really good. I watched Trigun in high school. That's what it was. I think it was Trigun. I mean, I've watched shows and movies. Some Cowboy Bebop, Spriggan. I watched Berserk a little bit on Netflix for a while. One of the versions, I think there's different series or whatever, Berserk, but the artwork is really good. So, yeah, that's kind of my exposure to anime. But I've always dabbled.
So you're
mostly
like you said, older stuff. You haven't really dabbled that much into newer stuff. I know you said you watched like Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan season 1 and 2, I think it was. Oh my god, so good. And I think I have a note where this reminds me of that a little bit. But yes, yeah, that was the last one I actually watched the whole season of on my own. Heard it was good. And I've watched like the first episode of Castlevania, and I just got to go back to it. I was telling you guys I saw. The Dota 2 has like its own anime. I don't know. You said the fan base isn't really into it, but I liked what I saw, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me.
That's just what I heard.
That's my exposure, more or less. No
Pokemon
in there.
I feel like Dave's.
Mine's gonna be much shorter.
I was gonna say, I feel like Dave's gonna be pretty short.
There's been, Japanese film and stuff, I was one of those kids that studied media study and film, but I've seen some of the weird artistic Japanese stuff. But as far as anime goes, I remember a little bit of Robotech from when I was a kid, but I wasn't really the one watching that. That was more of I was fucking around on the side, and then my kids had some Pokemon on here and there, and that's been more or less it. I've tried to start watching the first season of Castlevania.
Yeah.
But that's one that I actually kind of, after I've watched this, I kind of want to go back to and see if it hits me a little different. But this was certainly a change of gears for me. I'll say that.
Did you watch the Animatrix, the short skits?
Yeah, I saw all those ones.
I would count that as anime. Yeah.
One thing I was kind of shocked about was the like the art style for anime hasn't really. I don't want to say evolved, but it looks a lot like I remember it from, like, My Hero looks like a lot of the same techniques and all that kind of, it has the same look that a lot of the older stuff does. So I'm kind of, I didn't know if anime had to have that certain look and feel to it or not, but I was just, it seemed like it was a lot of the same. Obviously, it's much more complex now than it was back then, where they're probably using a lot of different techniques, but it still has that same look.
I think that's the thing with anime, though. I think it's always like it is very self-aware, right? I think that's why you see these tropes. I think the visual, the aesthetics is part of the tropes. It's like there are variations. I've pointed them out before. I think
there's different art styles. Yeah.
Like some of the stuff you were sending before looked way different. I don't know if it was some of the stuff you were shooting over on the Discord. If it was, I don't know if it was Akira or what. It was the chase scene that you sent.
Yeah, Spraygan. It was like
that was awesome. Like that seemed...
that totally Turkish car shootout and some, I don't know. Yes, whatever that scene was, Turkish car shootout or whatever it was. It was really cool.
That was right out of an action movie, basically. And it was fantastic.
So they exist. Dude, honestly, I'm remembering. I've also watched like the Street Fighter anime from the late 90s or something like that. That was really good. You should watch that, Dave. You would like that.
I didn't even know there was a Street Fighter.
Dude, it's really good. Yeah, I think I watched it right when I watched Ninja Scroll because they have kind of like the same aesthetic. But yeah,
it's like basically
I've actually watched a lot of anime. I'm realizing
because Guile is basically like the toned down version of All Might. Like All Might is basically he's like the anime version of Guile. I don't know. He's got the same dopey haircut and flexing all the time. I don't know. I caught a weird relation between those two in my head for some reason.
Yeah. Oh, is All Might's alter ego, like his true self, a freaking crackhead though? Like, why does he look like that?
He looks like he's from a Gorillaz album cover. That's what he should be in a Gorillaz video.
Oh, yes.
But then when he's all juiced up, he looks like some sort of like, I don't know, that creepy smile that he's constantly got on his face just kind of weirds me out a little bit deep inside.
He reminds me of the Toast superhero from Ren and Stimpy. Do you remember that guy?
Powder Toast Man. Fuck yeah.
Yes, he reminds me of that. Yeah.
That is good. I like that.
Yeah, All Might is an interesting character.
I'm going to have to Google that now. But no.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start. I'll go with my my history. So I think probably my first introduction, like Brandon was saying, was Pokemon for me. I mean, that was huge when I was a kid.
Sweet.
In the 90s. So I was watching the anime, the show, whatever, on fucking Cartoon Network or whatever it was at the time.
Okay.
And it's funny because so that and then Dragon Ball Z was a huge one for me when I was a kid. And like that's still to this day like one of my like favorite
I've never watched
media franchises, I would say. Like it's always been Dragon Ball Z and Star Wars for me ever since I was a kid. Like those are just like the two pillars of my like media interests. And it's funny because at the time when I was a kid, I didn't know like what anime was. Like I had no idea what the term anime meant. Like it was just it was a show on TV for me or a cartoon or whatever. So it wasn't until, when I got a little bit older where I started to realize, knowing what anime was. And at the time I was a skeptic. I was like, I don't know. I thought anime was lame when I was a teenager. Like I didn't want to watch it. I was, Dragon Ball Z was the only anime. I was like, oh, that's, I don't really count that as an anime because it's so mainstream. But it is. It has the same anime tropes that you see in every other anime. But I mean, I was in denial of my love for anime.
Don't be in denial of your anime. That's be your true self.
Well, that's when it kind of flipped.
I mean, I was like that until I saw some cool shit in anime, and I was like, I don't care what people
that's what
say.
I'm saying.
Like, there's some cool ass shit in anime.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And the funny thing is, this is why this is kind of special to me because My Hero is the anime that flipped me. Like,
oh no shit, really? Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, into really, really liking anime. My Hero was the first anime that I watched outside of, like I was saying before, Dragon Ball Z or Pokemon. So this is it was my introduction into this entire like new genre of like insane stuff that I could be watching. Like there's so many different
way more anime.
genres and there's so many different genres of anime. Like it opened up this entire world of entertainment that I was closing myself off of for no real reason. And so this show kind of opened that up for me.
That's one thing I was kind of thinking about while I was watching this is that my personal opinion is that animation as a medium is more accepted in Japan. So it may have a reach further into adulthood and stuff like that, where in America do we just think like cartoons are for fucking kids, stuff like that. So
exactly.
But then like a lot of the topics that happen or some of the mature things that they say or titties falling out, things like that, like that's definitely not for kids, like but a lot of I think the cultural viewpoint on anime versus cartoons is completely different, which kind of throws things into a little bit of a mix.
We're starting to see that a little bit. Like Dave, you brought up Invincible before. I mean, that's an animated show, but it's not a kid's show at all, There's fucking like heavy violence and stuff in that show, and, and I think it's interesting because, I mean, with animation, obviously you can do, like, way more, like, whatever, crazy storytelling and stuff that you can do outside of regular film.
You don't need a CGI budget, that's something I had written down, is that,
exactly.
Like, you can have planets smashing into each other, and you don't need a Pixar or a DreamWorks to come in and have that shit rendered for you. You can just whatever the artist or the storyteller can come up with or dream with, boom.
Yep.
So
yeah. I don't know, Brandon. Do you have any other comments or anything?
No, you just make me remember all the shows I've seen. Now I'm thinking about how I watched Neon Genesis.
Evangelion. Yep.
Whatever it was. Yep. Yeah. I remember liking the artwork off of the internet in high school and like trying to draw the characters. And I watched that show too. And that's when I was like, that was my first show, I think, that I watched. I was like, oh, I could get into this. I tried rewatching it recently when it first came back out. And I was like, I don't know about this show. But yeah, no, that's all I want to say.
Okay. Yeah. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's.
I think a lot of people can relate to our exposure, kind of like what you just went through. I think a lot of people did, and I think Dave and I are in the same boat. So, but yeah, sorry.
Yeah, like I said, we'll just roll into it. I just want to start with, before we get into specifics, just general impressions overall on your watching experience. What you thought of the show.
Dave,
so
Dave, you can go.
Whoever wants to start.
Hey, go ahead, Dave.
I mean,
shoot first.
I went back and forth on a lot of different stuff. And please jump in if I'm going off. But a lot of the storytelling and a lot of the stuff was very black and white. So like you got good guys and you got fucking bad guys. There's no in betweenies. A lot of
I noticed that too.
By the time I was done with it, I had it boiled down to X-Men at Hogwarts, and that was my basic like summary to my wife. Like when I was trying to explain, like by the end of because she watched the first 2 episodes with me, and then I watched the next 11 in like a day. So, I don't know. There's some like little weird things, like 80% of the people on the planet have these quirks, and 80% of the people on the planet is like 6 billion people. So it seems like there would be a lot more.
There'd be
people,
way more villains.
Like yeah, everything would just be going batshit crazy if there were literally that many people on the planet. And there's a lot of just like people walking around. They have to get protected during things, but
I didn't get that either.
I mean,
the general public.
The thing to think about is not all quirks are like huge superpowers.
That's true. That's
like
true.
You saw Deku's mom. She could make little objects float towards her or whatever. So
that's right.
People have like tiny,
yeah.
like insignificant quirks. They might not be like super, super strength or fucking.
Good point.
Super.
Good point. That's why there's like
flashy
super
quirks.
villain.
So
yeah.
Right. So a lot of people just in this world have just run of the mill for them quirks that wouldn't be useful in a hero situation.
I gotta say, I do like the world. I like the world of this show.
It is,
I think it's a cool world.
Cool.
I had fun in it. Like I'll give him credit for that. It was like, this is a cool idea.
And being so fresh to anime, like I'm sure a lot of the stuff I'm going to complain about are like standard anime things, where somebody's charging towards somebody else with their fist out, and it's just flashing back and forth between the two of them. Some of that, like, that seems a little bit excessive. Like we don't need to summarize the story every time we talk. That's one thing that they just do over and over and over. And one thing from binge watching that kind of drove me insane was because I started on Funimation, but only the first 2 were free on there, so I had to hop over to Hulu, and it goes commercial, and then you get a synopsis from the story, and then you get another commercial, and then the beginning of the episode is another synopsis of the story.
Dude, the commercials on Funimation were brutal.
I literally only had Domino's commercials.
Get that free trial.
And it was the Noid. Avoid the Noid.
Yeah, in general.
But there was the
Noid's back,
baby.
There
was 4 commercials, but it was the same 2
sponsor
Domino's
us.
commercials repeated back to back. So I was trying to give Funimation some advertising love, but I couldn't shell out the money to watch it, so I had to hop over. But
I just
Hulu's
did
commercials are just as bad.
Just get that free trial, baby.
That's what I did. Free trial. Yeah, just get it over with for the
free trial, no ads.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever.
The explaining of everything that's going on, and the inner dialogue and the inner monologue that like re-explains the entire plot of the story over and over again, and you specifically say exactly what you're gonna do before you do it.
I feel like there's only like 2 hours of actual content, and everything was like way longer than it needed to be. Like I feel like they could have done it in an hour. To be honest with you, like when I was looking back on this, I was like, what the fuck happened here? Like, how was this actually 13 episodes, which is short, but
that is
they dragged out everything. So
that is
much
a
dialogue.
A very anime thing. You have to remember that all this is based on a manga, so basically a comic book. A lot of the stuff that they do, they have to put filler stuff in to fill out 20 minutes of an episode.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where a lot of that stuff comes from. And I completely understand. Like, even rewatching it for me, I noticed that too. I'm like, okay, yeah, every beginning of the episode is like recapping. Well, they mostly just show the last scene from the last episode in the first, 2 minutes of the next episode.
I did like that
before the intro happens.
When my kid was watching with me, I would get distracted.
It's nice. But it's nice that you get the recap. But then if you are binge watching it, like Dave said, that can get a little bit annoying when they constantly recap the story.
They don't leave
after every, before every episode.
They don't leave anything to the imagination. You don't have those like what ifs out there, or like, is this guy a bad guy or is he a good guy? It's like everybody has
everything
written on their sleeves,
over-explained,
and everybody. I don't know if it's not a characterization of each character, but everybody to me seemed like they were a Mega Man villain. Like everybody had their thing. Like, I am the electricity guy. I'm the fire guy. This is what I do. And then by the end of it, they're all battling out in this giant Mega Man building where each section of the building has its own Mega Man level built into it. So I'm like, it fits right in. So
I like the Mega Man analogy.
I don't know.
I do like the Mega Man analogy.
That's where I went. But what was the other one?
I love the video game touches. I did like that when they did that stuff.
They make a lot of reference to video games where somebody's the end boss.
There is a lot of
or
video
something.
Yep.
Somebody's training montage.
Did the Street Fighter, the 2v2, and yeah. Mm-hmm.
The pacing was a little odd too because like the first couple episodes, it's like him as a weakling getting his powers, and then like the next 3 or 4 are in school. The next. And that happens over the course of like a couple months, and then like the last 5 episodes are all just one battle, just dragged out over 5 episodes, which
is like Attack on Titan, I think.
Is it?
That's what it reminded me.
Yeah,
of.
it's
same thing happened.
Like I said, that's another anime thing. I mean, it's not just an anime thing. It happens, but definitely battles in anime are dragged out, but for multiple episodes. Which I mean, those are usually in this type of anime anyways, those are usually the big like set piece moments of the battles.
Because you're watching it, because it's cool to look at. Like so much I want to rewatch it. Just I want to have it in the background, not listen to anything. Just have it on for visuals. I would love to see the battle scenes again. I love the artwork. Like when the first monster shows up, I thought that was really cool. And the sewer guy, the sludge guy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
right, so. Yeah,
I was gonna switch over to some cool shit that I saw. I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be dunking on it.
We did. Yeah, we got the bad stuff. Which I love the show, and I completely agree with everything you guys are saying. A lot of those are just common anime tropes that, since I've watched more anime than Dave. I don't know, Brandon, you've watched quite a bit, but most of it is and older stuff, which whatever. I'm sure it still had those tropes too, but I guess I've gotten used to that stuff a little bit more.
Yeah,
so someone like Dave, I could see.
This is extreme, though. I think the inner dialogue is extreme in this show compared. I mean, Attack on Titan was pretty bad too, but I felt there's a lot of talking.
Like I said, I agree with that stuff. And were you watching the first season? Whatever. I'm not trying to defend the show, but this season is definitely the weakest out of all of the other seasons. So, if you decide to watch it going forward, it definitely gets better. But let's switch it over to some whatever.
I could definitely see watching it going forward, but I think the gold star for the show is just the absolute creativity of it. Like I mentioned before, the X-Men at Hogwarts, like everybody has.
I love that. That's
something
good.
cool.
Yeah.
The animation is freaking cool. The fights are freaking cool.
Cool world.
Like, a lot of the there's some batshit crazy stuff that is going on in this fucking show. Whether it's like Frog Girl, I don't even remember her name.
Asui.
Yeah, the Bird Boy, who I didn't even notice until like the final couple episodes. Like, there's just so many characters and so many random powers that are in it, especially like the villains that show up in like the last couple episodes, where there's just like an army of them, and you just like, who the fuck are all these guys?
Yeah, they just appear out of nowhere.
You got all these guys. They just have fucking like you said, the most like creative stuff. This one dude has fucking finger guns for fingers. Another dude is like a shark dude. Fucking like the
Can't remember
the amount.
I'm so bad with the names. And
there just has to be someone that works for the show or the whatever developing the story, whose job it is to come up with like different quirks and designs for all these different characters.
Super cool.
And just coming up with like all these crazy, like It's funny because I was thinking about while I was watching this.
Yeah.
There was only one instance that I saw of someone like a repeated quirk. There was 2 people that had electricity powers in like the last episode. Every other quirk you saw was like different from the last one that you saw. No one had like a repeated quirk except the electricity guys that I saw. But that was just interesting to me because like it just shows like how many fucking different quirks they came up with and how diverse all the quirks are in this world, that you don't see many people with the same exact quirks. So
like the kid with the sticky balls that he pulls off of his body, and
Mineta.
Like, what is going on here? And like, there's the dude that turns into rocks that was fighting at the end, or I forgot. I don't even know if that was his specific power or whatever. But like, I didn't even notice him until like episode 8 or 9 or whatever that he's in the class. But there's a
good quote from Mineta is quote, "You can eat my sticky balls." That was in episode 10 when he was throwing all the balls at the guys in the water. And then there was also, in the next episode, he said he had a good poop and it made his balls stickier. So that was also very good.
I must have missed that one. I did not hear anything about poopy balls. It gets weird because it's like for sometimes, and I watched like an episode or 2 with the kid, and like sometimes it's normal where they're just talking, and then other times dudes. You mentioned it before, Eric. The one teacher, if I can remember his name,
Aizawa.
Eraserhead. Yes.
Yep.
He's just getting his arms snapped in half and getting his face just repeatedly smashed into the ground. I'm like, dude, this is fucking violent.
Out of nowhere.
Yep. Or like the titties that came out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden they're just fighting, and she's like, "Oh, I can make stuff out of my body," and then she's topless, and it's. Like I had to Google. I ruined my Google search history by like, I googled, "Are nosebleeds and boners a thing in anime?" And
it absolutely is.
And that's now forever in my search history. So.
Yep. Yeah, the part where Yorozu, she lost her clothes, and she said, "Oh, no big deal. I could just make new clothes." And I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Yeah, that came out of nowhere. But yeah, definitely that is an anime. That is another anime trope, is like a nosebleed when like a character is like horny or sees something sexy. So that is definitely an anime thing.
Oh, see, yeah, I learn something every day. I do have some notes written down if you want to start getting into specifics.
I was gonna say, if you guys, Brandon, did you have anything other like general impressions that you wanted to throw out there as far like what you liked or didn't like?
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of this at all. I really struggled with it. I was really kind of like, I did like the third act. I like the action. The dialogue was brutal. You're telling me that it gets better. I don't like the main character. I don't like.
If you're saying the,
and I don't like.
I mean, if you're saying you like the action, there is a lot more.
Right. The proper guy.
In the next couple seasons.
The proper guy who wears like like it looks like armor, like Gundam or whatever. I forget his name. He's
Tenya Ida.
Yeah.
Ida,
so yep. I heard something online about. His story gets pretty cool or something like that. He actually becomes very interesting.
Yep.
It's teased in season 1 or something like that. So I don't know what that means. So I thought I liked him. I didn't like the main character at all. He just really annoyed me, and it was really hard. You know how I am with my main characters. Like I can't stand The Witcher because I can't stand Captain Horrible Actor, cheesy voice. So if I can't get into the main character, I can't get into the thing.
That
was a struggle.
That's the good thing about sorry to interrupt you, Brandon.
No, go ahead.
If you do keep watching, that is the great thing about this show, is that, I mean, the main character is Deku, but they go into the backstories of every other character in Class 1A, basically.
Okay.
So if there is a character that you like, you'll have something for them coming up
Oh, okay,
season.
yeah,
like
I like half ice, half heat.
He's a big one. There are complete episodes where Deku isn't even in them. Like they're just focused on the side character, which I think is really awesome because they do flesh out all of these characters in the universe. In the later seasons,
he just repeated everything so much.
Yeah,
like we know. Why you keep saying this shit over and over again?
He definitely. I agree. He's whiny as fuck in the first season, and like
I'm sure that's
like,
on purpose.
I don't have a super. Yeah, I don't have a superpower. I mean, you're supposed to sympathize with him, whatever. But
he's like that,
at a certain point, you're like,
he's like that.
Exactly.
You know?
I know it's hard to.
He was just a fanboy who wanted to be like All Might, but he didn't have a quirk, and he wanted a quirk so bad,
right?
And he didn't get it. He wants to be a hero.
I like that.
But yeah,
I thought that was cool, and I like how All Might hands off. I like All Might's power. I like that idea, and I like that how he was the chosen one to get it. I do like that handoff whole concept. You know, I mean,
that leads me to my.
I struggle with it, but
that's my favorite line in the entire series, and it just. I think it was a weird one-liner, but I don't know if I'm just like a scumbag or something. But I actually wrote this down in quotes. To inherit my powers, you have to eat some of my DNA. And I'm like,
hair.
We're giving him his that could have gone a lot of weird directions.
I know.
That's creepy. You just spit in my mouth and give me your powers.
Yep.
Like what is that's
the any
PG
DNA
version of it too. That's the I don't know what's going on there, but the eating of the hair thing was really kind of fucking weird.
Dude, All Might, I wrote down. I thought you were going to say this line. He says this a couple times, but the one was when all the other characters show, like all the other students show up with their costumes, and he says, "How did you get so cool earlier?" And then this time he says, "You're getting me all ramped up. You look so cool." He says like cool impressed. Like twice, and it was so friggin' lame.
Dude, he looks fucking cool.
At least he's not sharing his DNA with those kids.
You're getting me all ramped up. You look so cool. Like what? It's so corny. I know he's supposed to be a corny character, like he's like Captain America or whatever.
That's his persona. That's his superhero persona. Which
their costumes were so lame too. I was like, wow, like the villains look so cool, and these characters. I think like the punk,
Bakugo,
whatever. He starts with a B. Yeah, yep. He his powers are cool. I think he was kind of cheesy and obnoxious, like you said, Dave. Just total black and white. He's just like he's just. Well, I'm sure. I disagree. I'm sure they're probably pulling a Jamie Lannister kind of thing, where you're gonna end up liking him later on. But I don't know. His costume was just so cheesy, dude. I was like, is that him? That's what he's looked like. I don't know. Some of the
you talking about Deku or Bakugo?
Deku's is horrible. Baku's is all of them are horrible. Horrible. I did not like any of their characters except my half ice guy. But yeah, like the chick shows up, the girl that does like the floating lifting kind of shit. She shows up.
Eat his costume. He looks like a fucking Power Ranger.
They're all Mega Man characters.
She was just a perverted. Like, I don't know why it's so skin tight. And then like there's other characters like Ball Boy or whatever. Like he's just like
Minetta's a horny little pervert.
No, it's because animes are perverted. They can't have a girl where like the other chick like has half her boobs out. You know, it's just
remind me of the boob grab scene. I completely forgot about when the one guy grabs the frog girl's boobs. Like, what?
Oh god!
And it's literally out of nowhere.
It's out of nowhere, dude. I don't like it. That's how the giant girl is introduced. It's like her ass, and everybody, like all these photographers.
money shot.
Yeah, it's just like
I remember that.
In the United States, like I feel like the cancel culture is like that would not happen here, but in like Japan, it's quirky and it's like okay. It's just weird. It's just weird to see it. And I'm like,
that's a cultural thing. Like America, fucking sex. Oh no, nothing can be sexy, but violence, people fucking getting their heads blown off is fine. But it's just a cultural thing. Like in Japan and fucking other countries, like nudity and that kind of sexual stuff is much more common and accepted. But
well, I think isn't porn like illegal in Japan? So this is probably how they get their kicks.
I don't know. I'm not an expert on fucking Japanese culture, but
we haven't mentioned the French guy yet. I have this, and this one reminded me of. I don't know why I wrote this.
Belly button laser,
belly
dude.
Button, like, I put
everyone the cloak.
Everyone's like a Mike.
Aoyama.
Everyone is a villain like a Mike Tyson's Punch-Out character, because this guy reminded me of Don Flamenco from, like, with his belly button laser, because he's all effeminate and he's all French.
He's so fancy.
Yeah. Belly button laser, though, really? This kid gets into school, and there's 6 billion people out there with powers, and they let fucking belly button laser into the school. Like, come on now. Somebody had to have something better than a belly button laser to get in here.
Oh, I think this school is reckless. I mean, like, clearly Bakugo, whatever, is a villain, like, kind of in the making. Like, he's, like, out of control. And they're just, like, watching him be a jerk. And everybody's seeing it. It's, like, obnoxious. He's like,
Listen.
like, what is wrong with you? I don't know.
He doesn't have one redeeming quality.
And
character arc whatsoever.
He just doesn't. Season. He wants to be the best. He doesn't want to look weak. He just wants to be the fucking best. That's all he wants to be.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, we heard it like 15 times an episode.
You had all these flashbacks of him and Deku as like kids growing up. And every flashback,
he's always a jerk.
He's a dick every single time. And for some reason, Deku is just like, okay, he's so cool. He's got powers. And he's, bending over for him, but like he is just
exactly.
Don't you know?
Consistently
You're amazing.
At every
it
opportunity.
Has to be you.
So,
I mean, that's why Deku idolized him because he had powers and he didn't. So, he wants to be like Bakugo. He wants a power so bad that he's fucking hanging around with this dickhead who's such a jerk to him, and he idolizes him.
He's gonna sacrifice himself, isn't he? Is that what you're gonna tell me? He's just building up to he's gonna realize he's been a jerk this whole time and sacrifice himself to save the main character. It's like, Deku, I'm sorry.
No. If that is what happened, I would hate this show. That is absolutely.
So you're saying
what happens.
By season 4, he's still a dick.
I don't want to spoil anything, but
I don't know.
I'll say he has a good arc in the later season. Like I agree. This season, first season, he is a fucking just pretty much a pure dick. His motivations are whatever. He just wants to be the best. He wants to be the top hero. He wants to get rich and fucking, be better than All Might. There was that one. I forgot which episode it was. It was towards the end of the season, where All Might was trying to comfort Bakugo, and he was like, "Get your hands off me! I don't want your advice and all that shit." And he just thinks he's better than everybody else. But I will say, he does get his comeuppance in the later seasons.
Good.
If you decide to keep watching.
I look at my notes and I say, Episode 6, Deku and Blonde Kid were friends, even though he's a complete dick. Episode 7, Kachan, still a dick. Like, it just doesn't change, so, I don't know. That was a little weird. Some of the other, I don't know. Like, did you guys notice the fake Linkin Park music in the background?
Yeah,
Sarah was walking by. She thought it was like Daft Punk playing in the background. It's like that.
Yeah, that My Hero song. I will say, I don't remember what the other music is like in the other seasons, but they reuse pretty much the same tracks every episode for this season. They use that that rap kind of My Hero.
Yeah, out of nowhere that rap would play.
Which I don't mind that, but they use it in every episode, and I'm like, okay, yeah, the song's getting a little tiring. But yeah, I'm just trying to think what else I wanted to. What else did you guys want?
I know you had you want to get into characters, but go ahead, Dave.
No, I was gonna say I just was curious. In seasons going past, because it's so fresh in my head. In the last episode, they just show a person that's a cat, that's a police officer. Does that turn into anything else, or is it just like a cat police officer?
Nope. That's his quirk. He's just a cat.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's the crazy thing about this show is that you'll see this fucking crazy,
but
just
like, your
random
just
person
shows up
in the crowd, and yeah,
you're like,
just,
oh,
dude,
apparently you don't have bones in your left toe or whatever,
Yeah.
and then like, yo, I guess you're
In the
gonna
first
and then you just
episode-
turn into a cat one day. Could you imagine? I'd be horrified. Guess I won't ever get married
that-
because who's gonna want to marry a cat? Because I don't
In
want
the
to
first
marry a cat.
episode, there's that hero that's like a fucking fire hydrant. He just has fire
Oh my
hydrants
God,
for
that's
arms.
right, I forgot about that
and
guy.
his head. And like that's just his body. Like he's that's not a costume or anything. That's just his quirk. He just turned into a fire hydrant one day. Like that's so weird.
Like that is one of the strengths of the show though, is that like fucking any goddamn thing that you can come up with can be a quirk. Like,
Dude, best genius like you were talking about earlier.
Which is cool.
He's badass in the later seasons. Like he can use his fucking gene threads to wrap up villains and fucking. And
he attacks people with jeans, with denim. His
Yep.
power is
He has,
power
like,
of
yeah.
denim.
He can like shoot out these threads, like super strong threads from his hands and shit, and fucking wrap up people.
Okay.
It's
That's
Oh
kinda
my
cool.
God.
It's pretty badass.
Whatever they are smoking over there, I would like some of that.
That is cool. Like the creativity, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Absolutely, it definitely delivers on that. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have any favorite characters. There's some likable characters, but All Might was kind of cool. But then he was kind of one note the whole time.
What do you mean? He had both sides of him. He had his superhero persona, where he's the symbol of peace, so he has to be smiling all the time.
Right.
He has to make everyone safe and comfortable, like he's
Yeah, I
gonna
know.
save everyone. And then he has his weaker form, where he's fucking,
Yeah, but like when he goes
nothing.
in like
He's a
ultra form
vulnerable
or whatever, like it was predictable. It's just like, of course he's gonna be like, we know his limitation, and we know he's gonna surpass. It's like I don't care. It's gonna make it.
Dude, listen, that is what gets me about a lot of anime stuff. Like all of the I don't know, like the inspirational stuff is really, I know it's like a tropey thing, but like when they're like, faced with adversity and they have to push past their limits, that fucking, I'm a sucker for that shit.
There's
I
a
just
question.
wish like they didn't talk while they fought. But go ahead, Dave.
Do you think, as just a random one, do you think that his voice actor, whoever he was when he was not All Might, sounded like Dave Putty from Seinfeld?
It's the same guy. His name is Chris Sabat. He does a ton of anime voices, but
Really?
I don't fucking know Seinfeld.
No, every time I heard him, I heard, yeah, from
Yeah,
Seinfeld.
that's pretty funny. I don't think it's him.
All
I
I
think
could hear
that guy
every
did
time I
the
heard
voice
his
of the
voice.
Tick,
Oh, he was the Tick.
like in the old version. Yeah, of the Tick.
Classy. I think I hit most of my notes. I don't know if I'm gonna end up watching the second season. You seem pretty high on the next couple seasons, so I may give season 2 a whirl. Definitely makes me want to go back and watch Castlevania again. But
Yeah, I mean,
as far as like the deep
listen,
end,
I don't blame you. Yeah, I don't blame you if you guys don't watch it. I mean, like I said, this season is definitely the weakest out of all of them. There's like, I don't know, there's a ton of good stuff coming up, but I don't know if I'm debating whether, because season 5 just came out, I'm debating whether, since I watched season 1, just to fucking rewatch everything and then roll into season 5 or go right to season 5. I don't know. I'm still thinking about that. That's a lot of fucking
What hurts season 1 is
stuff
that
to watch, but
it's an origin story for the class. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, exactly. It's just,
so the
they
villains
set
aren't
up
there. That's where
everything.
the cool shit was, I think.
Exactly.
That third act, the ending
And-
act of the season.
Listen, man, if you like that stuff, you're gonna love season 2.
Right. That's the only redeeming thing
There's a lot
for me.
more of that stuff.
Okay.
There's a lot more of that, like League of Villains stuff. They get way more into that, and the final fight of season 2 is
Oh, okay.
amazing. So
Okay.
I'll just say that.
All
So
right.
I feel like Brandon, you might be more likely to keep watching, but
Yeah,
there's some
just
good
my son's
stuff.
into it. He was like watching it, and he was definitely getting into it.
I mean, especially in the later seasons, there is some like pretty dark stuff. So just a forewarning. This
was
like
kind of dark and
season 1. Season 1 was pretty tame compared to a lot, especially like season 4. There's a lot of like some messed up stuff. So just saying. But like I said, this one was the most probably tame, and like you said, it's just meant to set up the world and the school and the characters, and then they really kind of put the gas down in the next season.
Who knows? Maybe this will become a segment where people like this content, where like people just hear what Dave and I think about animes.
I was expecting
there are amazing
hate, but
animes. The movies, I think, are a little bit tighter. I think you could watch some of the go try watching that Street Fighter anime from the 90s or like early 2000s. I can't remember when I watched it, but that was pretty sweet. You might like that.
There's 2 My Hero movies if you want to check those.
Oh, there's movies for this too?
There's movies. There's 2 movies.
Do movies like bridge the seasons, or are they separate kind of entities from the seasons?
One of them is like an All Might origin story, basically.
Ooh.
And the other one is like bridges the gap between, I think, season 2 and 3, I want to say. I don't remember.
That might make his character a little bit more interesting then.
He has a good backstory. They get into a little bit in the anime, but they have basically a whole movie on it.
There's definitely some cool characters in here, though, that I don't know, I would enjoy seeing get fleshed out. Like, even in the last, like, episode or 2, there were some of the teachers that showed up. The one teacher that showed up was, like, who's the gunslinger in Overwatch? What's his name?
McCree,
yes. The one teacher showed
up.
Yeah,
the sniper
with
guy.
a hat on,
Yeah,
and he just starts
the
people.
sniper
and
guy?
like,
yeah,
this guy was pretty
dope.
fucking cool. So
Yes.
I mean, like, you know, you got your characters that are there for laughs, like Sticky Ball Boy or whatever his name is, but
Right.
you know, I could definitely see it fleshing out into being just something pretty cool. So we'll see. We'll see how far I get. I don't know.
I was gonna say, if you guys do decide to watch it, let me know. I might just keep watching it, like rewatch it again, because I love the show, like I've been saying. But I just kind of want to rewatch everything and just roll right into the new season. So, but yeah, like I said, let me know if you guys decide to keep watching it, or if you if it interests you in watching any other anime.
I'm sure we'll be talking about it here later, but we'll see before I dive into more anime. I may soak up this one and before I dip my toes in others. But Dragon Ball Z is always I've always had curiosity into that one because my brother's a little younger than me and he got really into the Dragon Ball Z. So I've heard it's.
I swear to God, if we ever fucking watch, if you guys ever decide to watch Dragon Ball Z, that will be another one.
As long as I can fast forward through the recaps and the commercials, and then the recaps, and then the commercials, and all that. So I was debating on just finding it online illegally, just so I could skip that crap, because it got brutal.
Listen,
there's like 1 million episodes.
Just listen. Just don't even. Just YouTube some of the fights.
I've seen some of the
and
fights
see if
on
you
YouTube.
like it.
For Dragon Ball,
jumping in the air. Yeah.
Yep.
Goku.
Specifically, Goku versus Vegeta.
I think I saw that
Gohan
one.
versus Cell. Some of the great ones.
a lot of charging action shots with fists out, and
I fucking love it.
Well, all that.
A lot of
like All Might's power. Like, really, all we saw him do was just punch shit and jump high. Like, is that really the greatest power? He's the greatest superhero on the planet, and that's all we see him do in season 1.
He's just
punch shit.
He's just super fucking strong and super fucking fast.
So
like, he's basically Superman.
Superman without the laser eyes.
Without the laser, yeah. Because he said in the last episode, he was like, this took me, 300 punches, but in my heyday, I could have took him out in just 5 blows or whatever. But yeah,
it seems like
super fucking strong and super fucking fast.
With 6 billion quirks out there, somebody would have something better than like I'm tough and I punch strong. I don't know.
I mean, his quirk is whatever, quote unquote special, because it can be passed down from whatever one hero to the next.
But I guess the power is passed down, but don't you inherit the powers of the people that it is passed down to? So if you pass it down to somebody with a quirk and they pass it on again, does it inherit?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if it has to go to someone that doesn't have a quirk already, or if it like overrides their current one? That is a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question.
Please.
Because, like, does it add on top of, someone's current quirk? Because that would be really cool.
You figure after passing it on for so long that he would have some cooler tricks up his sleeve other than punching hard and running fast, so...
Dude, he can fucking change... He can create a tornado with his punches, though. I mean, what more do you want?
I mean...
He can break the sound barrier.
The dynamics of it, the physics of it are, leave a little bit... Have to be imagined, but I guess... But I guess there are people with dumber powers, like the teacher that was a DJ that came out of nowhere, but that was I don't know.
Present Mike.
Yeah, the batshit craziness just keeps going on and on. So I guess more to come.
Yep. So any closing comments? Anything else you guys want to bring up before we get into the game?
No, I mean, I would. Yeah, I think we probably spoiled the hell out of season 1, but
well, if you're coming into this episode, you gotta figure we're gonna talk about it.
True, it is kind of like a critique reaction kind of thing, but if it did interest people listening to this, I would say it's cool. Like, the world is cool. It's definitely unique. Make your own opinion. Don't listen to us. Like, fucking watch it for yourself and make an opinion. But yeah, it's definitely worth. Like, I'm glad I watched it. Like, now I know, so we'll see what I do with that.
I've been trying so hard to get my wife into anime, but she just...
It's a hard sell.
Your waifu.
It's like IPAs. You got to find the right IPA for somebody to get into IPAs. So I get it. There will be one. There's some rom-coms.
The thing is, there's...
in horror.
Yeah, like I said, there's so many different genres of anime. Like, it's not just all like action, punching. Right. Mm-hmm. There's like slice of life. Like you said, there's horror, there's sports. There's sports anime, Dave. Like, I'm watching one right now. It's like a volleyball anime, and it's called Haiku. Dude, it's so fucking good. Anyways, I could go off on anime for a while, but yeah, we can get to the game.
Let's take a break.
Sure. We actually have... You want to take a break?
Yeah, we could take... Yeah, go ahead, take a break. So we took a break. We're back. And we're back with a new game. And Eric, you are going to host this one. Thank you for finding this game. Pretty excited for this one. Do we have a catchy name for this?
The name I came up with is What's That Wiki? So,
okay.
The rules for this game, I'm going to read a plot section of a Wikipedia article or entry, and these are all going to be games. So we're going to do four rounds essentially. And I'm going to take out keywords in the article to prevent obvious hints. You can buzz in with your name. So if Brandon wants to take a guess, he'll say Brandon, and then he'll say his answer. And then if he gets it wrong, the person who got it wrong can't guess again until the other person guesses. So, if Brandon gets it wrong in that instance, Dave can listen to it for as long as he wants before he wants to guess. So there's a little bit of a strategy involved here. All right, let's. You guys ready? Ready to get into it?
I think so.
I am ready.
Fire away.
All right. So first game. Here we go. I'm gonna read the plot section. All right. So, in 1960, the protagonist Blank is a passenger on a plane that goes down in the Atlantic Ocean. As the only survivor, Blank makes his way to a nearby lighthouse that houses...
Dave.
Wait, hold on. Who was that? I heard Brandon first. I don't know what the line...
I heard Dave, I think.
You heard Dave first?
Dave. Yeah.
I'm going to say...
Just beat me.
I think this one... I could be one of the two, but I'm going to say BioShock 1.
That is correct.
Hey.
Yeah, I should have... As soon as the airplane crashed into the land, I was like... and then as soon as I said the island, Dave...
Yep.
Good, nice, Dave.
Good one.
Because it could have been BioShock Infinite.
Close to the heart. I didn't know if that was 2. I didn't know if 2 started out the same way. But I remember you were a Big Daddy in that one, so that I would figure... I was guessing that it wasn't crashing down in the Atlantic. But they always had that boat scene in the beginning, so...
Yep. There's always an island, or there's always a lighthouse, right, Dave? There's always a lighthouse.
Figured since we were talking about BioShock recently, I'd throw that one out there for the first one. So, yeah.
So cool.
Awesome. So, yeah, Dave got that first one. So, Dave is in the lead with 1 point. All right, here we go for the next game. The next game. Here we go. Okay, so the Centennial Star Festival is held to watch a comet in the blank. On the night of the Star Festival, Blank discovers a star-shaped creature called a blank and invites Blank to the festival to see the blank she discovered. Just as Blank arrives at the town, Blank invades the blank in a fleet of airships. He invites Blank to his creation of his galaxy and removes Blank's castle from its foundations using a...
Damn it. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
There's so many blanks in here. I when you got towards the end, it kind of sounds like a Mario game, and I'm gonna guess Super Mario Galaxy because that one's recent.
David, you got
nice.
it.
I was gonna say Odyssey. I had never played Galaxy.
At first
when you said Galaxy,
Stardew Valley
maybe
for
then, yeah.
a little bit, but I would have shot myself in the foot there.
That was good. I picked a couple games that we've been talking about recently. So the next two are not though.
Oh,
so
okay.
Don't get comfortable. All right. All right. So Dave's up 2-0. Brandon, you need. I might have to. If Brandon gets these next two, I'll have to come up with a tiebreaker. So, all right, we'll move on to the third game. All right, here we go. On July 13th, 2027, mega conglomerate Blank hosts a massive pre-release party in Blank for its new energy drink, Blank, allowing the citizens to be the first to try it. In an attempt to sell Blank faster, Blank skipped health regulation protocols and rushed through testing, leading the drink being so toxic that anyone who drinks it transforms into a violent, boil-covered mutant known as a Blank. In order to cover up the deception, Blank claims that a viral outbreak has happened and quarantines the whole city, preventing anyone from entering or exiting. The player, a Blank employee who works in the sanitation division, is saved from an attacking OD by Blank, a fellow survivor. The player is unaffected by the drink as they were not allowed to attend the launch party for Blank, later referred to... Oh, Dave?
This one's a nasty one, but I know there's zombies involved, so I think it could be one of two games. I'm going to guess Dead Island? Who do you voodoo bitch? No. Okay.
Incorrect. All right. So Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon.
You got.
I'm gonna say.
You want to guess?
Yeah. Is it Sunset Overdrive or is it whatever the Xbox One exclusive?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
You got it.
Drink really sounded so familiar.
That
you pick up all those cans in that game.
It's a fun game. I should go back and finish that.
I just started playing that one not too long ago. That game is really fun.
It's smooth.
Insomniac. Mm-hmm. Yep, Insomniac made that one. So, yeah, I can see a lot of the inspiration for, the Spider-Man controls. It's so fluid with the movement and everything.
It's not as good as Spider-Man, but it is fun. It's definitely
not as good as Spider-Man, but
close.
Yeah. But the conceit of that game is so crazy that this energy drink turns a bunch of fucking people into mutant zombies that are just killing everybody. So
that was a big E3 trailer. When that one first got announced, that was a big one. That's kind of where I remember the drink trailer from.
Dead Island was a good guess.
That was a good one. I like that.
So we got 2, Dave, Brandon 1. So Brandon, if you get this next one, I'll come up with a tiebreaker.
Sure.
Since it'll be, So Dave, this is for all the marbles.
Oh
all
my.
Right.
Whoa.
Okay. This one might be tougher. Save the toughest for last. All right, here we go. Blank features a ninja named Blank who seeks revenge for the death of his father and gradually finds himself involved in a sinister plot that threatens the entire world. The story opens with Blank's father blank being killed in a duel by an unknown assailant. After the duel, blank finds a letter written by blank which tells him to find an archaeologist named blank in America. Before blank can find blank, he is shot and kidnapped by
wow.
Yep.
This sounds so familiar, and it seems like it could be any number of games because it's got a kind of familiar start, but I'm going to say Ninja Gaiden? The 2005 original Xbox version? I don't know if it's 2005, but the original Xbox Ninja Gaiden?
Incorrect.
Yeah, I recently played that, and I'm like, I don't remember that shit at all, Dave.
Keep it going.
So close.
Probably
All right. All right, so Brandon, you can keep listening or guess if you want.
I'm gonna keep listening.
All right, I'll keep going.
Now there's no stress.
Okay, so before blank can find blank, he is shot and kidnapped by a mysterious young woman. She hands him a demonic-looking statue before releasing him.
Okay.
Blank then finds blank, who tells him of the demon statues he and blank found in the Amazon ruins. Blank tells blank of an evil conversation. Am I reading that right? Conversation. Okay, whatever. A masked figure named Blank suddenly breaks into the cabin and steals the shadow statue. Blank gives chase and defeats the masked figure and retrieves the statue, but when he returns, he finds that Blank is dying and the light statue is missing. Right after Blank dies, 3 armed men confront Blank and tell him to come with them. Anything,
It's a Japanese game.
And you said that, and this guy's a ninja?
It's a ninja.
Huh.
That was the first paragraph. I mean, I could keep going, but I don't know if you're gonna.
I should know it by this point. I don't know.
This sounds like a lot of games.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't play, I guess, many games where I'm a ninja, but shoot, man. Going to America as a ninja, so it's like a modern day ninja. What the hell?
All right.
What
I'll give a hint, but this will put Dave back into the game because it's not. I feel like it's not fair.
Sure.
I have another guess ready too, but I feel like this is. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm trying to think of what the best hint. I guess the hint is that Dave was really close with his first guess.
I heard you say close to Ninja Gaiden. Oh man.
You want to get in there before I jump in there again?
I guess I'll just guess for the sake of it. Is it Shinobi?
Oh my God, that's
incorrect.
I don't know.
That's what I was. That was what I was gonna guess.
Oh really? Oh okay.
It sounded like the Dreamcast Shinobi.
Yeah, I remember them being playing kind of similar.
All right. How about this? I'll give you one more hint, and then this is a race to the to whoever says their name first. This game, this is a good hint. This game was released in March 1989 in North America.
Okay.
1989.
1989.
Is it on the Nintendo Entertainment System?
Or Brandon.
Was it on the?
Oh wait. All right, I'm gonna say this, but this is so stupid. Is it Metal Gear? The first Metal Gear?
Nope.
All right. Because you're not.
All right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that hint too. It is on the NES.
Go ahead, Dave. This is tough.
A ninja on the NES. Man, I'm trying to think of all the ninjas on the NES, and Ryu Hayabusa comes
right
straight to mind. Is it well, if Ninja Gaiden on the Xbox was wrong, is it the old Ninja Gaiden on the original Nintendo?
That is correct.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
The original Ninja Gaiden on the NES.
That one was one of the first games with cutscenes too, because the person getting shot kind of reminds me of one of those initial cutscenes after I think the first level or second level or something like that, where I mean, I don't really
that was
remember
a tough
lot
one.
of the story from some of those.
Yeah, so
I
I instantly
game,
thought
too.
modern games when you were doing these. So like, I didn't think
It's crazy how much backstory like the simple NES game has, where you're just going around slashing fucking bats and shit. It's really funny. Like they put so much backstory into that. That was probably all in the instruction manual too. That's usually where the story lied.
It's one thing we don't get these days with digital downloads. The good old instruction manual with concept art and all sorts of stories and all sorts of random crazy stuff.
That's some fond memory for me. Like getting a new game, opening it on the way home and opening up the instruction manual and reading through it and all that, and then getting home, popping it in. Yep, that's good stuff.
It was a good game. It was tougher than I thought.
Yeah, the last one was
cool.
the last one was tough. They kind of got I guess I didn't really intend that, but they got progressively harder. So
yeah, that's good.
But
I'll host it next episode.
Yeah, that turned out well.
All right, well,
cool.
Yeah,
Thanks,
that's
guys.
the game. That was cool. Thanks for doing the whole episode and running this one. Well, I guess I don't know if you guys want to think about what we could do for the next episode. We talked about E3. We did some Star Wars. We just did an anime. I don't know if you guys want to get into like a movie. If you guys want to do, we have that list of questions where we can just kind of go through those, and just kind of answer some topics from our own list that we have going on. It's up to you.
Yeah, I like the idea. I like the backlog idea, talking about our piles of shame. Discussing what games we really want to get to.
I would love to do that, to kind of go through those, if you don't mind, like just kind of rapid fire, maybe go through some of those.
Sure.
Some of those were like, who was your favorite companion in a video game? Or what's your favorite starting weapon in a game? Or what is it about a game that makes you leave before you finish it? Stuff like that. I know those are some of the questions that we'd be asking. So I think a lot of people can relate to the list that we have going. So maybe we'll do that.
Sure.
Okay. Well, then that is it. Do you guys have anything you want to say at the end of this? Because you guys look so cool.
What was that? What was his catchphrase?
Oh yeah, what is his catchphrase, Eric?
Well, the Go Beyond Plus Ultra.
What is the Plus Ultra?
That just means go beyond, but also fucking go further beyond that. Listen, all I have to say is that you guys can eat my sticky balls.